Arknights is one of the biggest mobile games in the gacha meets strategy space, but at its core it's also a tower defense game. So today the question is Arknights a good tower defense game? Before we start, a little background on me. I spent countless hours on top tower defense games like Bloons TD 6, Kingdom Rush, and even the gacha tower defense game called the Battle Cats. Surely these games are very different, especially since Arknights and the Battle Cats are gacha, while Bloons TD 6 and Kingdom Rush aren't. But in this video, I want to focus purely on tower defense mechanics and see how Arknights stacks up against the best in the genre. We will look at gameplay, strategy, depth, and compare it to what classic tower defense really means. So yeah, let's dive in. First of all, quick refresher. In Arknights you play as Doctor leading a squad of operators from Rhodes Island. You deploy them on the map to stop waves of enemies from reaching your objective. The game borrows from tower defense possibility to place units, aka towers, on specific tiles, watch enemy waves come in, and react, but it also diverges in some key ways. Arknights mixes tower defense with RPG and gacha elements, creating a unique combo you won't see in classic tower defense games. What hits me first is just how much strategy Arknights requires. Operator classes, vanguards, guards, defenders, snipers, casters, supporters, specialists, each has a distinct role. Secondly, placement and terrain. Can you reach flying enemies, should you block a path or maximize attack range? And last but not least, timing and skills. Activating skills isn't just an upgrade, it's a tactical decision. You are constantly asking yourself what enemy is coming, what map gimmick is in play, which operator is best here. That's exactly what you want from a tower defense game: meaningful choices, logical challenge, and reward for smart play. Now, before we get into difficulty, one thing to note. Comparing Arknights to other tower defense games is tricky. In most classical tower defense games like Kingdom Rush or Bloons TD 6, you can upgrade units during a stage. Arknights, like the Battle Cats, handles upgrades outside of the stage. What that means, player A using Wizardel might be way stronger than player B using the same character. It separates long-term progression from stage-level strategy. You can't buff your units mid-battle. It's similar mechanic to Clash Royale, for example. Is this bad? Not really, it just changed the type of strategy. It's more about planning and long-term growth than micro-adjustments during a stage. Is Arknights a tough game? Definitely it is, but does it feel unfair? Usually not. Good tower defense games teach you through trial and error, and Arknights does too. New enemy types and map mechanics are introduced gradually. When you fail, you usually know why: wrong placement, pure skill timing, or ignoring a map hazard. It creates that satisfying cycle: fail, learn, retry, victory. Or sometimes fail, watch YouTube video, victory. I'm not judging. That said, because it's a gacha game, not having strong operators can make some stages feel restrictive. And that brings us to the next point. Operators aren't just towers. They have skills, talents, some redeployment mechanics, sometimes survival mechanics, but some operators are extremely strong. If you have them, you can breeze through content that might otherwise be tricky. This creates two types of player experiences. First is like pay-to-win player or simply lucky player with strong operators, and for those people some levels feel almost trivial. And another side of the coin is free or low spending player, or simply just new players, where clever planning can still win, but it takes more effort. It simply takes more effort. So yes, like Arknights rewards strategy, but it also encourages meta picks and power spikes. Now, the Battle Cats handles this nicely. In gacha games, low rarity units are often ignored, which makes sense. Why invest time or money in a weak unit if a stronger one can easily replace it? But in the Battle Cats, even lower tier units have a role. The best team isn't always just the rarest units. Arknights does this less consistently, though some 3 and 4-star operators are still useful. Bloons TD 6 is a role example of extremely balanced game. In this game you don't have a feeling that something is unfair. It's like a role model for tower defense games, at least in my opinion. Because Arknights is a gacha game, the question which arises is Arknights pay to win? And well, it depends, because yes, spending gets you stronger operators which can reduce difficulty and grind. but at the same time, not really, because most content is still beatable with strategy, lower rarity units and learning the mechanics. So it's somewhere in the middle, not purely free to play, but not a hard paywall either. New operators often have stronger kits, which can rivalize older content for those who have them. This shifts the meta and creates different experiences for the players. From a pure tower defense perspective, relying on operator strength lowers the pure tower defense challenge. Arknights has the most variety when it comes to map mechanics. In Clash Royale or the Battle Cats, maps are mostly visual. Bloons Tower Defense 6 sometimes has hidden mechanics, but they are simple, like press the flower and to nearby balloons. Kingdom Rush maps have unique mechanics too, but they are fewer and less varied than in Arknights. In Arknights you need to deal with two things at the same time, if it makes sense. So you need to deal with a new map, probably new mechanic, and also new enemies, probably some new type of enemies too, which can interact with the mechanics on the map. In Bloons Tower Defense 6, for example, you usually expect same enemies, the only challenge there is just a different map. Obviously, you have multiple game modes in Bloons Tower Defense 6, so you can play a boss battle which modifies slightly the regular rounds. You can play alternate rounds, which also add some different rounds to the game. However, the core gameplay is focused around same enemies and same rushes. So for example, in round 40, you expect the same rush on map A as on map B. So the main challenge is a map, not rushes itself. As I said, in Arknights it's both. It's a different map and different rushes. In Bloons Tower Defense 6 it's mainly different map. In the Battle Cats it's only different rush. In Kingdom Rush it's similar to Arknights, it's different map and different rushes. Different tower defense games handle this topic differently. I guess that's the best way to wrap it up. What about progression in Arknights? Progression is all about operators, leveling, skills and promotions. And it's grindy, really grindy. Materials and energy limits mean you can't rush progression without spending, but progression is steady, events are generous and it never feels impossible, just long. The same goes for the Battle Cats. Games like Kingdom Rush or Bloons Tower Defense 6 move faster, so progression in the long term is almost non-existent. There are some mechanics, like for example in Bloons Tower Defense 6 you have a monkey knowledge, which is essentially like a skill tree which is applied to all of the stages which you will play. Similar mechanism is in Kingdom Rush, but it is obviously not nearly as much complex as in Arknights. So, the final verdict, is Arknights a good tower defense game? Yes, absolutely. It's one of the most sophisticated mobile tower defense games. Deep strategy, strong map design, rewarding failures and long-term engagement. But not everyone wants all of that. Arknights is more than a tower defense game, with a story-heavy experience uncommon in this genre. If you want something that you can pay once and get a solid tower defense experience, I will definitely recommend Bloons Tower Defense 6 or Kingdom Rush. Also remember, good depends on what you want from tower defense. If you want pure tower defense with no collection mechanics, minimal hero meta and fully balanced units, Arknights might not be the best game to play. If you want character growth, story, strategy and tower defense mixed together, Arknights is among the best. My final verdict is, for most players, especially strategy fans, Arknights is absolutely worth it. If you haven't tried it, dive in, you might just get hooked. Thanks for watching. If you like this, make sure to like and subscribe and tell me, what is your favorite tower defense game? Is it Arknights or is it something else? What tower defense game have you ever played? As I said, let me know and see you soon.